Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6:06 on Thursday, March 12th. A quick roll call for attendance. Drew Alsop, Vice Chair here.
Josh Furtado here.
Would anyone in the crowd like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? All right, let's just stand up. Here's the flag. All the kids, whenever you're ready, here's the flag right over this way. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. It's nice to finally have some daylight in one of our meetings too. Here we are. Okay, the first part of our agenda is our public forum. Would anyone from the public like to address the school committee tonight? Okay. Sure, and just what was your name? I'll just take it. Hi, Susan. Anybody else? Don't be shy, but no pressure. Going once, twice. Okay, thank you very much. Next on our agenda is the consent agenda. First is the approval of minutes of February 5th and 12th. Before I seek a motion for that, we just want to make one minor adjustment, a spelling adjustment of somebody's name in those minutes. But otherwise, seeking a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda, new business for discussion and possible action. We have a new policy, which is with regard to the McKinney-Vento Act, which is students experiencing homelessness. This is a policy that the policy committee had taken a look at. It's been reviewed and revised by council with Erica Dixon on the staff taking the lead. David, I'd turn it over to you for anything else
Sure.
you might want to share about that policy.
So for those folks in the audience, before a policy is codified into our district policies, it has to have two readings. So since this is a new policy, tonight is our first reading, and as Drew mentioned, it has gone through the process of going through our policy committee. It's also been reviewed and approved through his eyes through our legal counsel. And so just so that you guys know, this policy formalizes the procedures that we already follow to comply with the law. But in our preparation for our RIDE compliance review, we discovered that RIDE requires districts to have a McKinney-Vento policy. And we did not have one in place, even though we were following such guidelines. Since we do not have such a policy, we created what you have in your packet. It just ensures that the district will follow the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act, which guarantees that students experiencing homelessness have equal access to public education and the supports they need to succeed. So like I said, this is our first reading. Once the school committee has a chance to look over it, any changes that would need to be made, we would make those and then bring it back for a second reading at our next school committee meeting on the 26th.
Yep, and just to describe a little bit more about what this policy does, so it defines what students facing homelessness means. It defines what their access to a free and appropriate education would entail. It defines what our liaison responsibilities are for the McKinney-Vento liaison for Jamestown Public Schools. And so I think the order of operations would be if either of you have any feedback or questions now, we could take those. Otherwise, we'd bring it back in our next meeting seeking approval of the policy. Okay. Okay. So we'll table that until the next meeting. And then next is our 2026-2027 school calendar.
All right, and you guys have a copy of the proposed calendar in your packets, and you're going to see that it mirrors. It's not exactly like North Kingstown's uh, school calendar that was approved this past Tuesday or last Tuesday. Last Tuesday, yes, because then it was approved last Tuesday by North Kingstown. Josh may know better than me on that. And then I had to bring it to, or wait to bring it to our leadership team, which is last Thursday. And it's also been reviewed by members of our representatives for our Jamestown Teachers Association. So it's gone through the vetting process. I think some things that might stand out to folks in the community is that it shows us, beginning school prior to Labor Day, which typically we don't do that.
Right.
But the JTA collective bargaining agreement allows us to do that as long as one of our schools, our feeder schools, either Narragansett or North Kingstown are doing so. So they are. So we can do that. But I think the most important thing that I would like to bring your attention to in terms of beginning after Labor Day. So if we were to, Labor Day this year falls on September 7th, and primary day is scheduled for the September 8th, which would push the first day of school to Wednesday, September 9th. If we wait until after the holiday, so beginning on August 31st allows us to maintain a more balanced calendar throughout the year and avoid extending the school year too far into June. And I can go over, and I don't mind to do that. So the way it compares with the North Kingstown calendar is it's the same start date of August 31st. And there's a list of days where it's the same days for no school for students. I could read those off for you if you would like for the community. Would you guys like to hear all those, or okay, because it'll be linked to the website.
What was the question, David? Do you want us to?
If they were interested in hearing all the dates that we had in common, that we were all no school for students with North Kingstown, there's quite a few. Yes, we really tried to get as close to North Kingstown as we possibly could. I think maybe one of the differences is that we on 12/3 is a parent teacher conference day for us, and a PD day is on March the 19th. North Kingstown's last day is June 16th, and our last day is the 18th. And again, that's because of those professional development days.
Okay, are those the only differences with the NK calendar? We have 2 days one for professional development, one for conferences. They don't have those days, and so we go 2 days later.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and the calendar, I mean, Labor Day does fall a little bit later in the calendar than usual.
This doesn't happen very often.
Okay, so on the calendar, any immediate questions or discussion? As I look through it, just to summarize a few things in case anybody hasn't seen it yet and wants to know, right? It's the 3 days over the Thanksgiving holiday, the 25th, 26th, 27th, the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The winter holiday begins on the 23rd, the Wednesday, the 23rd.
That was key. I think what we experienced this past holiday season, folks didn't want to do that again.
Mm-hmm. And that goes through New Year's Day falls on a Friday this upcoming year. So it's a full week in February and a full week in April, as we've typically done these last few years anyway. And as David said, ending the year on June 18th. Okay, and is the goal to have this approved as soon as possible? Are we gonna, as we would a policy, have this out for
Yeah,
comment?
I think parents, families,
Yeah.
folks in the community. We got an email today from our military families want this information, and I just explained to them that if it wasn't approved tonight, chances are it would be approved at our next meeting, and we get them a copy of the approved version as soon as we possibly could. So
Has this been released to families and the community for comment
No.
yet? Okay.
No, no.
Yeah, so we definitely need to do that, right? And I would propose that we table this also, get it out there. I'd assume it would be in the Howl and up on the website. We'll look forward to looking at it again next time.
Mhm.
That sound right?
That works. So, that you approve, next meeting?
Just what's the date of our next meeting, David? I see, it's the 26th. Got it.
Yes, the 26th, 2 weeks from today.
Okay, well, with that, that is our public agenda for the rest of the evening. I'd like to get a motion to enter executive session.
And, make a motion to enter executive session?
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks, everybody. So we're going to go into closed session now, and we will reconvene when that is over.